Social Accountability or rather the Socio-Economic Right and Accountability Project, SERAP, has issued a 7 days ultimatum to no other person but Olayemi Cardoso, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, or to demand an explanation for what it termed the missing or divided and diverted 3 trillion naira. In a suit that it said it would definitely institute if the CBN governor does not give account of their money. The organization urged Cardoso to identify those responsible for the alleged diversion and to turn them over to the Independent Corrupt Practice and Other Related Offences Commission and the Economic and Financial Crime Commission. Additionally, they called for the recovery of all recovered funds in a letter dated 15th day of November and signed by the Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare. SERAP emphasized that the findings of the Auditor General suggest that grave violations of public trust, the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution of 1999 as amended, and the CBN Act and also the anti-corruption standard were all being kicked against. The group also confirmed that these allegations were indeed grave to public trust. The organization reminded the CBN of a constitutional obligation and insisted that Nigerians have to, or rather have the right to know the whereabouts of the public funds. SERAP said it will take legal action if the bank fails to respond within 7 days of this very notice. This latest move by SERAP reflects Nigerians' growing impatience of government institutions not accountable to the people and immersed in deep corruption, which many have blamed for the underdevelopment of the country, and a need for us to talk about it on the show today. And that's what we're talking about, accountability in government institutions. That's what we're having as a major discourse today on the show. We're talking about accountability in government institutions. Well, anyway, to help us talk about this is no other person but a political analyst and also the chairperson of the Poka Healthcare Foundation that's located right here in Delta State. And I'm talking of no other person, but he said I shouldn't call him comrade, so I'll call him Mr. Austin Owusewa. But in every way, he's also a comrade. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning, Michael, thank you for having me this morning.
Yes, now, according to our findings on Dialogue, this very revelation was revealed, that should be September 9th to be precise. That's when we first got wind of this missing 3 trillion naira. And we do know that as it stands, the country is losing 3 trillion, but we are in debt of almost 154 trillion. So many are really wondering, does this make any sense? But my question, when you first had the reaction of this 3 trillion naira, what came to your mind?
Michael, in Nigeria, the volume of amounts you hear, they are quite mind-boggling, shocking when you hear amounts of money involving corrupt practices. You understand? So you begin to wonder, are the people stealing this money? Are they sane at all? Because it's frightening when you hear the huge amount of money being stolen from our client. It's so frightening. So we'll give it to SERAP. Okay. SERAP have been doing a lot in trying to hold government accountable. Our government. And when you read on the news that 3 trillion naira is not being remitted to Federation account. And it takes an NGO, a non-governmental organization, to start dragging the government
to do the
needful. That's why I say it's mind-boggling, it's shocking. The huge amount of money that we discuss on our television. And you find out that the Commander-in-Chief is going to the Senate to request approval for external borrowing, even internal borrowing. So, like I said, it's quite frightening.
Well, anyway, as much as you are saying it doesn't make sense to a normal mind to think, I feel it's also right for us to make sense about this in giving you a breakdown of how this 3 trillion is, so you get a sense of the money that is missing. Now, let's give a breakdown or summary of the report coming from the Auditor General that he released. Yes, office that he released on the 9th of September that we got wind of. Now, the money is, number one, the non-remittance of over 1.4 trillion in operational surplus from the CBN. They failed to remit that money. It was operational surplus. It was more. But up to now, nobody knows where that 1.4 trillion went to. Vanished. Not only that, failure to recover 629 billion paid to unknown beneficiaries on account of the Anchor Borrower Program. And the non-recovery of about 784 billion in overdue intervention loan. Now, looking at the CBN Act, this contravenes it in every way. And we have both, my question now is, we have both executive and legislative body that does oversight function on this very institution. So my question now is, do you feel why, because you said it's mind-blowing, it doesn't make any sense when we look at this money being stolen. But do you feel it's a failure on the part of government institutions, both the executive and the legislative arm? That is why we're having huge amount being stolen on account of government institutions. This is coming from the CBN. Just recently, the Red Chambers told the Nigerian NNPCL to count for about 2.10 trillion, which is also a staggering amount. But let's leave the NNPCL for now, remain with the CBN. Is it a failure on the part of government, both executive and legislative?
Michael, I would really say it's a failure on the part of our government.
Okay.
Because today, we are in the era of technology.
Okay.
And you see, when you put the technological tools into play, particularly as it relates to finance, money being transferred from one point to another point is traceable.
Yes, yes.
So coming to say, like what they are saying, that on unidentified individuals, it doesn't make sense in any way.
Because they transfer this money.
They transfer this money from point A to point B. This is the era where we have what do you call it, BVN.
Yes.
Tied to our
NIN.
So before money is being transferred from point A to point B, do these people have BVN or NIN? It's a question that we ought to raise on the part of our government or maybe the National Assembly who are doing oversight on the CBN. Mind you, Mike, we also have the TSA
Treasury Single
Account. So money don't walk through the air. It passes through one institution to another banking institution where records are being kept. This is not the time that we operate in a manual system. We're no longer using notebook or files. We take records in our banks. For example, if you open an account, they will ask you to bring all form of identification, your what do you call it, former NEPA bills, NEPA bill. They will capture you, fingerprints and all what's not. So how come somebody will now come to explain to us that the money is not being traced? Today, I used to, in our NGO Delta group, the Delta State NGO, where I'm trying to forget the name, but the name is there, I will recall it. There's what we used to call follow the money. Follow the money. Money enter bank A, left to bank B, transfer to bank X or C, or whatever way you want to call it. It is traceable from where it originates from and how
it gets or where it finally goes.
Where it finally goes to. So anybody coming to say that on identified individuals, it's just a joke. It's not real. because monies are traceable.
And funny enough, this is our #1 banking institution.
Yes.
That deals with the issue of credibility, deals with the issue of financial regulation, deals with the issue of records, and yet
It's an embarrassment to a nation when our CBN, the central bank, comes to say money that were transferred were not traceable, documented. It's embarrassment internationally. It's not done, it's not hard. Because even money that were diverted from our shores, our country to foreign countries are traceable. They trace money in the Swiss, they trace money in the US. We have heard of Abacha loots and some other loots that they were traceable. So nobody can tell us in our internal system here in Nigeria,
we cannot
trace fund. That's a huge joke. It's not acceptable.
Well, anyways, it might sound laughable, but it goes to show how really serious the issue we are discussing about is. Like I said, all of this came to light when the Auditor General of the Federation did an audit of the CBN account and discovered that about 3 trillion is unaccounted for, and indeed raised the red flag that is bringing this discussion, and SERAP going to court to ensure that the CBN does the needful. But anyway, let's still remain with the needful, because it's still, as much as that baffles you, another major money that's also a part of this 3 trillion naira is the issue of the Anchors Borrowers Fund. Yes, that they said it's untraceable.
Yes.
But I still want to remain with that, because this Anchor Borrower money was meant to deal with the issue of hunger, especially as it concerns farmers.
Yeah.
You agree with me that for the past 2 or more years, the present inflation, undermining, we just had a reduction in inflation just come yesterday with what they said. But for the past 2 years, consecutively, food inflation has been the main driver of the main inflation in the country.
Yep.
And you will agree with me that in recent time, Nigerians have become more hungry than they have ever been on account of food prices, on account of not having enough. But now, my question is, do you see complicity? Because if this money were given to people that are accounted for, it's obvious they were not given to farmers, which the money was meant for. So will you say there's deep complicity in government institutions not doing the needful, hence putting us on pressure when it comes to the issue of food insecurity?
Mike, when we talk about complicity,
Yes.
particularly as related to government agencies interacting with
Yes.
organizations and farmers,
Yeah.
you know, we are all Nigerians. Our system is very funny.
Okay.
When I mean funny, in the sense that maybe a government agent, you are saddled with the task of handling a particular government project.
Yes.
We have seen most Nigerians giving money to their cronies, not meant to the people it was meant to be given to, particularly as it relates to farmers, because we're talking about the farmers vis-a-vis the food insecurity and as it affects inflation of food inflation.
Yeah.
So their lack of transparency.
Lack of transparency.
Yes. And, you know, when we really talk about this accountability, one, citizens must be involved, must participate.
Most certainly.
You understand? I recall sometimes in 2018, we were at United Nations.
Okay.
Poverty eradication.
Yeah.
We call it, it was a CSW 65 at the United Nations.
Okay.
On a side event
Okay.
organized by the Nigerian network of NGOs,
Okay.
which we participated
Okay.
at United in New York.
Yes.
You see that our emphasis was how to hold public officers accountable. How to hold public officers accountable. And for us to hold public officers accountable, we must also, as in Nigerians, participate in the process.
Okay.
Starting from our elections.
Okay.
Because if somebody buy your vote, you don't have a conscience to ask questions. But when you vote aright, for a candidate that you know that this person
Can deliver.
have gone through their manifestos, and I found out that they can represent us, and you vote right. You can therefore, in clear conscience, ask questions.
Yeah.
How we are being governed. Now, coming back to your question, you see, because there is no accountability, that's where we have issues of remitting money to those that we cannot account for. Mike.
So it looks as if we already sold our birthright.
We are birthright. Me and you here, let's go to any of our commercial banks and you're asking for a loan to do business. They will ask you for all manners of documentation. So if a government agency is given or is saddled with a responsibility to give out money to farmers, and somebody is saying the money did not get to the farmers, then there is a problem. Who is holding such organizations accountable? Let us not even say we are going to the AFCC or ICPC.
Okay, anti-graft.
They don't go to the anti-graft agencies. Yeah. What is our National Assembly doing? Who have oversight functions to ensure that such programs are properly run?
That they were budgeted for, and the funds were being
the funds are being diverted elsewhere. Not meant for what they were supposed to be used for.
And funny enough, they will now come the next year to request for monies in the budget, and yet nobody is asking them what the previous one was used for.
That is the problem we have. That is the accountability we are talking about, because every one of us must participate. We must ask questions. It is not a time we must raise this conversation. I thank God that you are bringing it up in your... Yeah. We must raise this conversation across board. From our local government to our state to the federal level. This is a conversation that Nigerians must participate in. It's not a conversation it's not an I don't care attitude. We must participate because... But again, Michael, like you just mentioned that to some extent the inflation rate is... stabilizing.
This is the first time we're having in 8 years, 16.01%. Yeah.
I must give it to the present administration at the federal level. You see, recently I went on a market survey.
Okay.
And I find out that prices, the numbers are coming down.
Yes.
But as regards to foodstuffs and all that.
Rice, beans, garlic.
So I was wondering, even this period that is getting to the
Ember
on the Christmas period. You know, normally prices were supposed to be
going up,
but so by surprise, prices were
coming down,
and you see, so to some extent, we give that to kudos to the government, but they must be held accountable.
Now, talking about accountability, because I want us to still remain here. Now, there's this question that ponders on every Nigerian's mind.
Yeah.
And let me still remain with the report. 1.4 trillion, not billion.
It's a huge amount of money.
Missing on account of operational surplus. That means what it means is they went to the National Assembly, got approval for monies. Yeah, they were given, but in between the line, it was a big surplus. They did not use 1.4 trillion, which normally would, like you said, have gone to the Treasury single account as in being surplus.
Yeah.
But that money disappeared without a trace. Now, my question is, I know I'm going to speak the mind of many Nigerians. Why is it so easy to steal from the government purse? Why is it so easy? We've had billions, trillions missing from the government purse. This is a general purse. This is a purse that has every institution watchguarding it, safeguarding it. But yet it's so easy to steal from. In your own assessment, why is that so?
Michael, you see, money cannot just go missing. From budgetary time to expenditure, to procurement,
to
and
execution.
to allocation. Money cannot go missing. There are records. It's just that the people who are saddled with the responsibility to oversight on such funds are not doing their job, or they are compromising.
So money does not miss.
Money cannot. I told you, there was a Delta State network of NGOs. There's what we call follow the money. Michael, you deposit money into Bank A, and money was released to an organization. For God's sake, how can that money get missing? Can be said to be getting missing. Money is deposited into Bank A. Even in our local system, if you say you transfer money to Mr. B, and Mr. B say he didn't see the money, there's what we say, go and print your statement of account
to trace it.
To trace where the money went to.
When it went to.
When
how
it went
it
to.
got there. When was the time?
There are records, time and date. Everything is clearly spelled out in our banking institution. So somebody coming to tell us that money went missing is a joke. It means they're taking us for granted. They feel that we're not intelligent.
So why is it always the government purse? Why is it so easy that the government purse is where everybody dips hand into and drags from?
Michael, I'm telling you that, we have had stories where they say snake swallowed money in Nigeria.
We're still looking for the snake.
The snake.
Yeah,
we have had money where somebody said he does not have how to explain it, other than to say snake swallowed the money. Monkey swallowed the money. In Nigeria. You understand? Where today, with technology, you can trace money to any place, any part of the world. This is not a time where monies are carried via. In fact, if you can recall, recently we don't see bullion vans carrying money the way they used to carry money again. Because money can be transferred electronically and all that. And if not for the fact that we have not put some of our banking instruments into play, there is no need to carry cash. What are you carrying cash for? I met somebody in the UK. When the person saw £50 note, he said, since she was born, she has not seen £50 note.
And they're in the UK?
In the UK, because there was no need to carry cash. What are you carrying cash for? When you have your card, if you want to go, you have cards for transportation and all that. So, when we come to the Nigerian state and somebody say money is missing, is an abuse on our sensibility, on our person. It is not acceptable. It can never be accepted. Money transferred from central bank to a ministry or MDA, an MDA account. From the MDA account, we now know that 1 million or 1 trillion was transferred from the CBN to a particular MDA, saddled with the responsibility to disburse money to farmers. And before we even give money or even say we want to give money, we ask people to come with all manner of credentials, informations. You understand? So I have also participated in some government organizations. I participated in trying to say, I've submitted informations to, what do you call it, the Bank of Industry.
Yes.
The Bank of Industry. The level of documentation, scrutiny for you to participate, to be eligible, to be given funds. Because it is spelled out what are the eligibility criteria to give out funds.
But yet they say they don't know who these persons are.
No, that's a lie. That's what I'm saying is a lie. It's not right. It's not accepted. Because me, as an individual, as a Nigerian, I've applied to Bank of Industry for funds. And I know the manner of documents I presented. I wasn't given anyway. You understand? But I know the manner of documents that were presented. So somebody coming to tell us that the borrower's money is missing, went missing,
You
or
don't
the people are
know.
not identified. That is a joke of the 21st century.
Okay. Let's leave the funny part of it.
Yes.
Because you called it a joke. And the only way we can do is laugh about it. Because if we put it in our heart, it will bring nothing but pain to Nigerians. Now, let's leave that apart and come to the issue of monies that normally would have gone for development being swindled away. Now, as it stands, Nigerian poverty rate is put about 61%, which translates to about 139 people are multidimensionally poor in Nigeria. 61% of all Nigerians are poor.
You get it. I read of recent were on a research that was carried out.
Yeah.
You understand? And they are saying that about 92 point something Nigerians don't have up to 500,000 in their accounts.
Which is true.
92.7 or thereabout
Percent.
of Nigerians don't have 500,000 in their account. So you now see that is either you are very rich or you are poor.
Nothing like in between.
There's no middle class.
So that's where my question lies. Do you see all this money, this stolen money has risen, the middle class has been eroded? Do you see it why there is this great divide between the rich and the poor?
You see, when we come to middle class, the rich, the poor, these categories, you see, every sensible government, functional government, there used to be a time when we were growing up, Michael.
Yeah.
The Telzai mills were working in Kaduna.
Yeah.
I think Michelin and Dunlop, all those, they were producing in Nigeria.
Rubber. Yeah. Tires.
You understand? People were working.
Yeah.
We have vehicle assembly.
Yeah. Still
Plants.
in Kaduna.
Pan in
Peugeot.
Nigeria. There was this, I think people producing shoes and all that. Bata. They were producing in Nigeria.
Quality shoes.
Quality shoes.
Being exported to other
Yes,
African.
it therefore means when these things were happening, these industries were functioning, thriving, you know, those that were working in these places, we tend them to be middle class because they earn, they take care of their children, they can pay their fees, and they are paid promptly. When these people started closing shop in Nigeria, that was where
The middle class.
major problems started coming, and it eroded the middle class. In our own Delta State here, we had the Delta State Company.
Yeah.
You understand? Working in Delta State. When Delta State Company was working, if you go to their estate, you see that it was lively. All that has gone down. Every sensible government doesn't allow industries, big organizations to go down the drain. You've put every effort to ensure that they remain. You understand? Issue of come back to accountability. Because when government release some funds for these organizations, Nigerians will loot this money. Coming back to your question, Nigerians will loot this money, you understand, and take them to where they like, wherever they want. So you find out that this system gradually, with time, eroded the middle class. And all these things caught up with us. Because if these businesses are not thriving, there's a problem. These are the problems Nigeria we are facing now. Again, you know, there have been some legislations, some about the local content. Let us produce Nigeria. Let us do business, do the Nigerian thing. The government is trying on that aspect. You understand? The local content. Because Nigerians are hard-working persons. You understand? All they need is encouragement. This same accountability, like I would always say, if a bank gives you a loan to do business, have the mindset of repayment. You understand? Even if government gives you a facility to do business, there must be the mindset
of returning
back. Then, as a government, when our local contractors do business with our government and they are not paid, you are putting a wedge in between the middle class and the upper class, because these people that are doing business, most of them are middle class, and they have done job for the government. Government is not paying them. How do you expect them? And most of them borrow from banks.
Yeah, to
mind you,
to facilitate.
I won't want to mention some government agencies. If you go to some banks with their letter of award that you want to take loan, the banks will not give you money.
That bad?
That's so bad. Most banks don't even want to fund government projects because our government don't pay. It's a slogan: government doesn't pay. How can we thrive in such a system? You understand? How can we thrive in such a system?
And yet we are still talking about accountability.
We're talking about accountability. So the government itself must be held accountable. Citizens must participate. The mindset that I don't care, my vote don't count, I don't want to be part of it. Because, Michael, sometimes we have discussed about voters' apathy. What is causing it is that recently, when you take the percentage of statistics of people that participated in the Anambra election, a lot of persons didn't come out.
That empathy.
Yes, a lot of people didn't come out. Why did they not come out? They feel their votes are not counted. They feel unconcerned. But no, accountability starts from that process.
So it has to start with us.
It has to start with us.
Before it now translates to the government. And
every sphere of the government
must now follow.
From our budgeting cycle to when we execute our budgets, when we procure, when we pay. These are processes that must be strictly monitored, followed.
Okay, now, as much as you've talked about that's the way out, I want us to also talk about the issue of persecution. Now, we've had countless cases, just like this one I mentioned now. The CBN is not only the one facing or having a torchlight centered on its activities. The NNPCL is a major critical government institution that has always been immersed in one form of corruption scandal or the other. Yeah, we know the CBN is also having its own share fare with even the former CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, still facing corruption, huge corruption cases, with him having almost 700 and something houses in an estate, all of that. Let's leave that mind-blowing revelation, but come to the issue now. Do you see a lack of persecution on the part of government? That's why we're having an uptick or an increase in the amount of corruption cases in most of our institutions. Do you feel nobody has been held accountable? Yes, we know the CBN present governor is going through, the former governor rather, is going through all of that. But do you feel our lack of persecution of these persons, that's why this whole problem is still continuing? No sincerity on the part of government that concerns persecution.
You see, most times regarding persecution, I've once said here that our institutions are very weak.
Okay.
We have stronger individuals
than stronger institutions.
I think I was watching on television the president in the judges' conference that was held in Abuja yesterday.
Yes.
The president agreed that the judicial system is compromised.
Okay.
The president, in his statement, admitted that the judicial system is compromised, but we can improve on it. So, when you mention persecution, there are institutions that are there to handle,
Saddled with the
saddled with the responsibility to handle this.
Mm.
But we have one Nigerian slogan or a mentality that if you are in the ruling party, you are kind of exempted, shielded from persecution. How does that help us? When persecution tend to be tilted towards those that are in the opposition. Selective. You understand? So that's a major problem. That's a major problem. Then, starting from our police officers, our judicial officers, they are not adequately remunerated.
Yes.
Mind you, you see, when you see policemen in certain crimes, you cannot want to approach a policeman to bribe him or a judicial officer to bribe, because they are well cared for and they are loyal to the Constitution.
That is paying them.
You understand what I'm saying? Their loyalty is to the Constitution. It's not to an individual. It's not to a political party. Yeah. You understand the kind of problem we are facing. So when you are in an opposition and you voice your complaint about the present government, you are targeted for prosecution. So a lot of Nigerians are scared to come out. You understand? So even if you write a petition, are you sure it's going to be treated? It's going to be followed up. So a lot of persons in Nigeria are kind of bottled up because they're not being able to express themselves. Even the media. Yeah. That is the fourth realm of the estate. Yeah. There's obviously a watchdog.
Yeah. Of everybody.
Whole government is one of the major sector that holds the government accountability. You understand? Sometimes when the media asks questions, you see, we've seen in Nigeria where media houses are burnt down, locked up, newsmen are arrested, and all that. You understand? So we used to have some very strong, vibrant media personnel. We just, I think I read one of them, Ganagbese, may so rest in peace. 81 just passed on. It was a very vibrant media personnel. We have had some that had head government.
They had the guts
to come out and stand and speak out, holding government accountable. So, Michael, when we talk about persecution, we have the way it is. The Nigerian persecution system, the Nigerian system is different from the norms, how it ought to be.
So on that account, we cannot use that as a watchdog to deal with the issue of corruption.
No. You can't deal with the issue of corruption in that manner. We have to enact laws. That is the role of a National Assembly.
But do you feel it's an issue of enacting laws? Do you feel it's an issue of policy or rather implementation? Because many people will argue, we have a whole lot. Like, for example, you're talking about the journalists. We have the Freedom of Information Act 2011.
Yeah.
Up till now, you go to some certain ministries, some documentation, and they are not being released to you. They'll tell you, sorry, you need to follow this channel. And when you go round and round and round, you finally get the message.
You see, Michael, our system is a very funny system. When an officer, government officer, you want information from him or her, and they request a kickback, if you don't do that, you don't get it. And in some organizations in Nigeria, giving kickback have become a norm.
So if you don't do it, looks as if you don't know what to do.
You don't know what's happening. It seems you are from the space. You understand? So with this kind of mindset, with this mindset, you find out that the system begins to crawl. because the institutions are not strong. Just recently, I was reading on newspaper, on those states or thereabout, the Association of Magistrates, they were complaining that they don't have vehicles to go to court. Imagine a situation where a magistrate will enter keke or okada to the court, and then after court, you are joining vehicle with litigants. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, forgive me for laughing, but it's funny.
You know, that's in your Delta state here. We have courts in shrine. We have courts in community halls. How can we adjudicate? You understand what I'm saying? So the issue of the Nigerian issue, the Nigerian accountability issue of holding government accountable in Nigeria become frustrating.
Frustrating.
Yes. And mind you, most of the government officers are enjoying it because they have ways to meander around it. They are not being held accountable. It's just the Nigerian thing. We will do this, and everything.
So in your own assessment, because time is not a friend, we're really out of time. What should be done? Well, we're talking about accountability.
We must strengthen institutions.
We must strengthen our institutions.
Yes. Then the Nigerian man, we as citizens, we must participate in this process, starting from our electoral processes. We must strengthen institutions. We must adequately remunerate our workers, our officers who are in the justice system. So a man that is hungry doesn't have a voice. A man that is hungry, and there is a 500,000 here, and a man is hungry. Answer the question yourself, Michael.
Well, anyway, that answer will come not now, but well, anyway, I'm the one asking the questions here, though.
Yeah, you're asking the question.
I understand what you mean.
Sometimes we have to pose it back to you so you see and you know how we feel. You understand? The issue of accountability even starts from our homes. From our homes. We must hold ourselves, personal selves, accountable. Train our children how to be accountable. It must be put in our curriculum.
Our DNA.
In our curriculum. So, it now begins to go into the DNA. So that you now know, you can ask questions. Sometimes, when children ask questions, don't silence them. Hear them out. Give them answers. Because they see us. The parents, they see what is happening in society. So when we train them aright, it in turns benefits society. So there's a long way to go, but like the president said yesterday, it can be done.
So you have high hopes that it can be done?
Of course, it can be done. You see, the present government, they are putting a lot of things in place. Okay. You understand? The present government, the president is always telling us that the reforms
will start to bear fruits.
Bear fruits. And, just recently, in my mind, like I told you, I went for a market survey. Because we're getting to the Christmas period. So you need to plan. So in my market survey, I was there. So the president, that means the reforms are kind of having some effect.
We are, at least it's something that we see.
We see and feel. It's having some effects on the economy. The market woman, somebody was telling me that the price of rice is coming down.
Yes, it is.
Price of flour,
Gari is coming down.
In fact, the Gari as it is, somebody was telling me that a basket of Gari has come down from about 4,000 to 1,500.
Yeah.
You understand? So, to some extent, our people can afford
the basics.
The basics. And so it shows that the reforms have been, and if you find out that the dollar has been coming down instead of going up. You understand? So, to some extent, the reforms are having effect on.
So we should still have hope and patience. That's what you're saying.
We must have, what do? We must have hope. There's nothing else you can do than to have hope.
Well, anyway, I hope Nigerians do have that hope.
We must have hope.
And I hope they have the patience.
See, Michael, we must have hope. It's only hope that can keep you alive. The moment you lose hope, you're gone. You understand? So a lot of things has to be put in place. You see, in as much as we give it to the president, to the present administration,
Yeah.
I mean, so there are some areas they have also failed us.
Yeah.
You understand?
That they need more to do.
They need more to do on our roads. They have to pay attention. Roads, insecurity, our rail system, they're not functioning.
Yeah.
So there should be a time in Nigeria where you can travel from, let's say from my state, Warrior, to Kaduna, Kano. You are safe. You mingle with people freely. It's no longer the same. So it's so bad for us.
Well, anyways, I don't know if we continue talking, we are ready to talk all
the whole day,
because the discussion is interesting, and the answers are, forgive me, but very direct and honest, and that's why we always appreciate you.
Thank you.
Talking of no other person, but I'd rather, if he doesn't want, I'll talk of Comrade Austin Iwuseva.
It's a shame that those ones that used to be in the trade unions that they call comrades. I've not been in any of the trade unions.
A political analyst and the chairperson of Poker Healthcare Foundation.
I'm not comfortable with that.
Okay.
When you call me a comrade, I'm not been to any trade association.
Okay, let me return to Mr. Austin Iwuseva. JP, yes, Justice of Peace.
Yes.
Like I said, he's indeed a political analyst and also the chairperson of Poker Healthcare Foundation. And you do know that is located right here in Delta State. And we really need to thank you so much for taking your time and doing real justice to the issue of accountability.
Thank you so much.
As our government and government institutions and what they need to do. We really want to say thank you so much. And we are really appreciative of your time with us. But you do know, like I will also insist, the conversation does not end here. Let's have your reactions, comment, share, and like. And indeed, give us comment on what you feel or give us your reaction as it concerns accountability of government institutions, knowing that many of them are enmeshed in a whole lot of scandalous dealings, especially of money being unaccounted for, many funds. Like we said, that of the CBN is about 3 trillion, which SERAP, the Social Economic and Accountability Right Project, has said they are going to take them to court. And we also do know that the Red Chamber is still waiting for the NNPCL to account for about 210 trillion that they say is missing. And that investigation started from 2017 to also 2023. But anyway, on that note, we've come to the end of this awesome edition of Dialogue. We'll tell you to still remain with Atlantic TV because the news will come up and definitely trending will follow. But for me, Michael Gobadia, God willing, we'll see you later. Bye for now.